And clearly, they've been doing it this way for 60 years, and it hasn't protected them from violence at all, or we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now.
Yep.
Right? You know, and I don't know, man. I'm sorry, because I know my tone is very angry, but I am. I'm sick and tired of people believing completely idiotic excuses for killing people. You know what I mean? It's no different than if you took our whole conversation about skateboarding at the beginning of the show and then said, well, that's why we need to go to war, because John Cardiel can do a good Smith grind down a handrail. Well, that's just a non sequitur, man. These things don't hang together. And it's the same thing for virtually every argument you hear from the war party. It's just a bunch of crap. And frankly, it's insulting. Like, for example, and maybe I'll shut up after this. People, I urge you to look at the history of Israeli support for Hamas. You can read about it in the Wall Street Journal. You can read about it in UPI. You don't have to read it from a bunch of hippies. You don't even have to go to the Washington Post. You read the Wall Street Journal about it. Andrew Higgins and Richard Sale at UPI has always been, identified very closely with the Reaganites. Okay, this is not some hippie. Okay, and then you go through. Like we were talking about, up to the current day, where the Israelis prefer to have Hamas in the West Bank, in the Gaza Strip, so that they don't have to negotiate in good faith over the West Bank and the rest of Palestine. Well, I mean, this history is absolutely incontrovertible, right? I'll urge people to go look at my Twitter feed and just search in Twitter, Scott Horton Show, and then the Israeli regime likes it this way, starter pack, or in fact, just Scott Horton Show and starter pack, and you'll find it. And I have a thread of threads of quotes and links and proof of this whole topic. And the way that
I'll find those links and I'll put them in the show notes, because I think that is an important thing to have on there.
But then here's my point, that before I space out completely, is that I have yet to see a single right-wing war hawk say, or liberal war hawk say, okay, yes, it's true that Netanyahu had this policy of deliberately nurturing Hamas so that he would have a good little enemy in Gaza to not have to negotiate with. However, still, I think we should carpet bomb the place, blah, blah, blah. Right? I haven't seen a single person who supports the war acknowledge that King Bibi is here and Hamas are the prison gang that he controls, not directly, not that he calls them on the phone and tells them what to do, but he has all the power in the world. They are pawns on his chessboard. And yes, they did something crazy. He said, we control the height of the flame. We keep Hamas in power in Gaza so we don't have to negotiate over a Palestinian state. He says it. Google it. It's in Haaretz. So anyone who wants to thwart a Palestinian state has to support bolstering Hamas in Gaza. That's a direct quote from Netanyahu talking to his own party ministers in the Likud party. And then he says, but don't worry, we control the height of the flame. Right? But that is just not true.
Nope.
Right? The flame burned the whole damn kitchen down, right? It jumped out of the pan and is turning this whole giant thing. Because the guy's, he's got this completely cynical and evil policy of supporting evil in order to get away with evil.
That's right.
Right?
And
then something really bad happened. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. But partisanship can't account for that. Being a leftist or being a right winger or being a conservative or a liberal or a Republican or a Democrat or Jewish or Gentile doesn't have anything.
You got to take off those robes, man. You got to take those things off and you got to look at the truth.
That's right. It is what it is. And I understand that people are in such a kind of deconstructionist age where, like, no matter what you say, people want to go, aha, I see what's really going on here. You really think this, and that's where you're trying to trick me into thinking that. And like, everybody just takes everything that everyone else says as a dishonest lie and a propaganda. Oh, I bet the Russians probably paid you to say it. If it wasn't them, I bet Iran paid you to say it. I bet Israel paid you to say it. Because no one can ever just say anything because it is what they think and what they want you to grok at all. And everyone is full of so many assumptions. And listen, it's good that people are on their guard.
Right.
It's good that people have their sharp elbows up. You're not going to convince me to believe something I don't want to believe. Like, good. Okay. But like, also be smart, man. Don't just be unreasonable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
And
And look,
when Uncle Bob says, "Hey, this guy's speaking the truth," maybe soften your heart just a little bit.